Thanks for clicking on this video and watching. Like, subscribe, stick around, leave a comment. All that stuff helps the algorithm, helps the channel. Thank you. Check out the eBay store. It's the best way to support the channel and help us do cool stuff like this and upgrade audio like you're hearing right now. Check, check, check. We finally have good audio, or at least I hope it's good. But we have good audio. That's because of guys like you helping out, supporting. Check eBay out. I got some stuff coming this spring and summer that you're going to want to see. You're going to like. They're in the process of being manufactured right now. So I appreciate you watching. Stick around. So Shot 3D was last weekend, and to put it lightly, I had some struggles. 100, didn't I? A little gut shot. Ooh, I may have got dirt right in there. A little low. Oh, you're too low, but a little back, a little low. Barely got it. Whew. Went right under it. How close is that? Whew. So I'd sighted my bow in. I had a whole video about that before I left. In the wind, it wasn't bad. My final group was pretty good at 105 yards. Very much acceptable by my standards. But when I got there, man, I was all over the place. I was hitting left a lot. And then at like 80 yards, I was probably a yard off. 70, 80 yards was probably a yard off. I had to add a yard or two. And then at 100, I was adding like 2 yards. And then at 120, I was needing to add like 3 or 4 yards. And so I had some bad shots. And I was constantly chasing what is that right number. And that's not a good feeling when you're going into a big archery competition like that, or a fun shoot challenge, we're going to call it. So I was constantly chasing my sight tape and weird left shots, and I kept moving my sight left, and I kept hitting left. Well, I come back, I go to the bow shop, and I say, I don't know what else to do with this, fix me. And sometimes that's the thing to do. Give up, take it to a professional, let them fix it. I did that, and boy, it made a difference. So my main problem was this sight was extremely loose. So when I was here, wasn't a big deal, you couldn't really tell it, but at full draw, for me to get my bubble level, I was having to really lean my bow over aggressively. And I didn't notice it, but the bow tech was like, you seem like your sight's not level when they leveled the string. So we got that level. That was a big thing. That took away a lot of the left shots, straightened things back up. The other thing was I added this a little longer D-loop, maybe 1/8 of an inch, just enough that I can really engage these back muscles instead of getting tired and feeling that elbow creep in on you. Made a huge difference. Definitely should have done that earlier. The other thing was I had a slight tear. I think it was a high right tear. So what I had to do is we moved some shims over. We adjusted some yokes, and I think we actually took about a half turn out of the bottom, and it is money. Shooting bullet holes, shooting perfect now. So all of that, we actually even adjusted this to make sure it wasn't too tight, the QAD to make sure it wasn't too tight and causing issues with that, or falling too late and hitting some fletchings or something. All that was good, checked out good, and now we need to get our sight tape ready for the next Shot 3D event, or TAC, Total Archery Challenge, Oklahoma, coming up. We got to get this dialed in for that, because I can't look like a bum in front of my buddies. I've got to win their money, and I've got to embarrass them. So we got to get this sight tape dialed in. So we're going to go get 20 figured out. We're going to print a new sight tape, a new quick setup sight tape, and then hopefully we're going to stretch it out here soon, and we're going to see where we're at these longer bombs. So stick around. Appreciate you watching. All right, so we've re-entered some of the information off of our Precision Cut Archery sight tape software. We did change some stuff, the speed just a little bit. I had to take a few, or like a half of a turn out of the bottom limb bolt to get this bullet hole just perfect. So we lost a little bit of speed. It seems like maybe just a foot or 2 per second, so not much. But we're gonna try to be as accurate as possible. We did check the weight grain of the arrows. I might have added a grain or 2. Printed a new sight tape. We're going to line 20 up. I think the main thing was probably just the sight not being wobbly. So we've got 20 lined up. This is the quick setup under Precision Cut. Archery's software. All right, I'm gonna try to get over here where the sun isn't blinding me. 41. Okay, so that's a really good group, but it is high. So we've got a pretty good group down there, but it is high. So that's 41, right at 41. Might should have shot it at 39. I might shoot a few at 39 just to see if it comes in different. Might be 37 and a half. And then we need to move left just a little bit. Bow's definitely shooting good. These were my first 3 shots. And then my 4th shot was like, I think this one right under here. Moved it down another yard and a half. And then these down here, which are really close. So I was saying about a half yard off. I mean, the bow itself obviously is shooting good. Take a little different approach to this. Normally I like to do 20 to 80 or 20 and 90. This time I'm going to do 40 and 80, hopefully 80, as my pin gap, because I think you can be off a little at 20 and not really know it because it's so close. But I think 40, like you'll know, because the group, as you saw there, it's either at the middle or it's not. So I'm going to do 40 and hopefully 80, and then do a 40-yard gap with a dial caliper and enter that information, because my 20, while it seems like it's on, it can be off, but still be really close, and it's hard to know exact. So we're fixing to shoot 40. All right, 40 yards, shooting the 35, 37 and a half yard mark. Bow is shooting excellent. Arrows are flying great. Dump that one a little bit. Man, hard again. All right, let's go check these. You can see these were the first ones, I think, up here, just what I've seen through my binoculars. And 1 or 2 of the last ones might have been up there as well. We're kind of left low, some few high, not just perfect yet. Still not a bad group, but we're just a touch high or touch low. I'd like to have 2 or 3 in the white. I'd feel a lot better about a 40 mark, so I think we're going to go back and shoot that again. That one broke high on me. All right, this is 36 on the sight tape, so a half yard off. Now, I don't claim to be an excellent archer, more of just a guy who enjoys the sport. But those are some good groups. The first 2 shots, I believe, were these low ones. Then I started hitting high on some surprise breaks, which that's a heck of a group, even if they're an inch high. And then the last 2 shots, which hit each other, I'm hoping didn't damage any arrows, were these two shots. So I think we found our 40 mark, and it's actually 4 yards off. It's 36. So, all right, I'm going to move my sight tape to put 40 at 36. Lock this sight in. Shouldn't have to make too many adjustments. We're off a little bit. So, I'm just going to line up 40 with this indicator. All right, let's go see if we can reach out to 50 or 60 and test this a little bit. That's pretty good. Touch left. Well, that's close, just a touch high. Money. All right, so 40, 50, 60 are all on. Last thing we need to check is what does it do at 20? So we're gonna find 20. If 20 is still on, we may have found our sight tape. Still need to shoot 80, 90, 100, see if we're off, but we may be on to something. 20.1. I can't even roll the dial to 20. Huh. So this is 25. How crazy is that? All right, so to put a timeline on this, this was my first shot at 60, which is still a ½ inch maybe above the white. So that's one shot at 60 that I touch high. This was the first shot at 50. I believe this shot right here is 60. And I think it may have deflected off of it. It kind of sounded like it hit something, but anyway, I moved a few clicks over, put it right in the center, and then this is 20, which is actually 25 because my sight tape won't go to 20, but it's such a fast arrow. You're talking about just being an inch, inch and a half high at 5 yard difference. Maybe not even that. I mean, that's just where it hit. But I mean, you can wrap your hand around those at 20, 50, and 60. That's okay. That's a good sign. So I think we are about set. All right, so we have got a good start on the sight tape so far on this one. It helps having your bow in tune. I'll just tell you that. It helps having a bow that shoots right. So it helps having a good bow shop that you can go to and say, I don't know what to do with this anymore, fix it. And get it shooting darts. Check for things that are silly, like your sight being loose, which I would have never thought to even check for that. I don't know how it got loose, but it was loose, bad loose. So we're shooting good now. The only thing left to do is stretch it out and get a little distance on it and double check the longer distances. Maybe by some miracle, 80, 90, 100's spot on. This is just the quick setup. And it looks like it's pretty good now. Now what I had to do was put the tape on at 40 instead of putting it on at 20. So it's not something I normally do, but if that's what it takes, if I have to set the indicator at 40, find 40, put the tape, line 40 up, if that's what it takes, that's what we're going to do. So so far so good. Bow's shooting amazing. I need to redeem myself after a rough week at Shot 3D this past time. So getting this sight tape dialed in. I appreciate you watching. Stick around. We're fixing to launch some bombs and see just how far we can reach and group, and see if we can get a much better group at 80, 90, 100, 120 than we've had in the past. Thank you for watching.